Welcome everybody to Northampton Live to a talent show. I describe it as kind of an eclectic mix of fiddle, song, poetry, and activities. Before we get going, just one minor housekeeping note here. If you want subtitles, go to the bottom of your screen where you have some choices there in that menu. There's a button there that says CC Live Transcript. If you click on it, it'll give you a couple options, one of them being subtitles or transcript, if that helps you. If you're good, then you can ignore that. All set. This show, I guess every show is going to be just a little bit different. This show has got a mix of returning stars, which is great, and some new people. So maybe a mix of both is probably the ideal. And that's how we're moving on. One other thing that would be a little different is we got some pre-recorded sets this time. A few people had some issues with computers or schedule conflicts or performing a couple of duets that worked out easier if we pre-recorded them. So the whole last show was live. This one's going to be a mixture. Just thinking for a minute about where we are, the pandemic obviously has influenced everybody's lives this year. And one of the ways that it did that was narrow people's focus in terms of the groups they dealt with. Everybody sort of had to kind of narrow their focus to a family or a significant relationship or a pod even perhaps. But even with that narrow focus then, in a sense on a community level, we're all in this together, the good and the bad here. So this shows an example of the community trying to respond a little to people's needs by trying to help share their interests and talents. Basically, I think they're hoping to inform, maybe entertain, spread a little joy. And God knows we all need a little joy these days. Hopefully you're open and you're ready for it. So on with the show. First up, lead off batter, but perhaps that's a mixed analogy. We got Dick Moulding, a return star who is doing a ragtime piano composition. Ragtime, if you're not familiar with it, was popularized by Scott Joplin, who was also known as the King of Jazz. It was the predominant style of American popular music from about 1890 to 1918, you know, where you get that break with the jazz age, and was an immediate precursor to jazz and a forerunner of it. So Dick describes himself as a Northampton neighbor who plays the piano in the ragtime tradition. He has music to play and a story to tell. You all set, Dick?
I sure am. Thank you so much, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm going to play two tunes you would have heard at last year's Scott Joplin Festival had it not been canceled and had you been there, making up for lost time, I guess. The theme of the festival was to have been women in ragtime. Hence, I am going to play The Hoosier Rag by Julia Niebergall from 1907, coupled with from 2009, The Thriller by May Aufderheide. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. Scott Joplin would be proud. Another show or two, you're going to make us all regular ragtime fans here.
Excellent. Thanks.
With a nod towards the movie Casablanca, I hope in the next show I can say it again. Play it again, Dick. Thank you. Okay, next up, Maureen Freights. No Matter What, this is going to be a recorded set. She's been playing since her dad taught her to play when she was 12. Started out with country, but now moved on to mostly blues and contemporary Christian. Reflecting on how her faith has helped her through this pandemic, she chose No Matter What, a song released by Ryan Stevenson in 2018. And basically the song encourages all of us, even though we all struggle with things. So Maureen is hoping that this raises people's spirits. So let's see it.
Hi, my name's Maureen Freights, and I'm going to play No Matter What by Ryan Stevenson. A lot of us grew up believing at any moment we could lose it all. And with the drop of a hat, God might turn his back and move on. A lot of us feel like we blew it, thinking that we're just too far gone. But I want you to know there's still a hope for you now. 'Cause no matter what you've done, you can't erase his love. Nothing can change it. You're not separated, no matter what. There's never been a better time to get honest. There's never been a better time to get clean. So come as you are, run to that cross and be free. Oh, be free. 'Cause no matter what you've done, you can't erase his love. Nothing can change it. You're not separated. No matter where you run, he's always holding on. You're still a daughter. You're still a son. No matter what. Don't know what you have seen, don't know what you've been through. All I know is my God will never let go of you. No. Don't know what you have seen, don't know what you've been through. All I know is my God will never let go of you. He'll never let go. Separated, no matter where you run, he's always holding on. You're still a daughter, you're still a son, no matter what. Oh, no matter what, you're still a daughter, you're still a son, no matter what.
Yeah, very nice. Thanks, Maureen. Felt very supportive, actually, and encouraging. And I'm sure no matter what your faith is, I suspect a lot of people found comfort in their faith during the last year. A lot of people reached out for that. Okay, then moving on, we got next up is Greta Kessler doing paper cuts, a recorded activity. I didn't know about paper cuts actually until I talked to Greta. Greta has been playing with paper since she was a young child, drawing, painting watercolors, printmaking, graphic arts, collages, origami, weaving, embroidery, and paper cutting, the topic of the day here. She was trained as a jewelry designer, did a lot of drawing, silversmithing, and beading, and that might be related to her paper cutting. Paper cutting is done with a scissors or a real sharp blade. It's a folk art around the world in places like China, Japan, Switzerland, Germany, Poland, Mexico, North Africa, Israel, and the United States, which she'll refer to during the presentation here. All set, let's see it.
I have been doing paper cuts for many years. Here are some examples. This paper cut is a folded repeat motif. The date palm was drawn first on a section and cut with the scissors. The birds and wings create a new flower form. Growth is a Jewish menorah, which becomes a growing branch. Flowing wings and birds' tails are mounted on a marbleized paper. 8 birds are joined and become a new flower. This is a very complex and intricate design, which features a peacock, which is a symbol of happiness, and pomegranates, a symbol of fertility. This bush shows last year's fruit eaten by birds and early spring blossom and new fruit. This is the blade I use. Very, very, very sharp, very special. The point is unbelievably sharp, and I use a magnifying light, which makes anything possible. I can do the refinement after I finish the paper cut. If the paper is fibrous, I need to trim all those little fibers and little bumps. I have a few paper cuts from around the world. This is the Swiss style, which is a landscape story. Polish paper cutting is layered paper in various colors. Chinese, this is tissue, very fragile, but they cut many at a time, so that this is amazing. This is not a folk art. This is Henri Matisse, designed from his bed with a giant scissors for a chapel in southern France. This is paper cutting with a scissors, folded tissue, with the repeat image. And what I do is I have a drawing which is transferred to the back of a paper, an acid-free paper. This is not that paper. This is one that I transfer with something like carbon paper, but it's a special paper for this purpose, which is, I draw on the back so that the front is always clean. The drawing of this is on the back, and I transferred the original, which is somewhere here, or it's underneath, onto here with this full-size transfer paper. And when it's done, it will have this contrast paper. This is a print of one that I had done previously, the same design. The 7 species are a quotation from the Bible. A plant in a pot is a tree of life around the world. The wine cup with grapes, palm leaves, figs, and pomegranates was folded, roughly sketched on the back, and cut with the scissors. Okay.
Okay, well, thanks, Greta. I think people would find that very impressive, actually. Before meeting Greta, I thought making paper airplanes was pretty talented. I didn't mention that to her, but the upside of all this, I think, is that we're fortunate to live in a community that has a variety of talented people like Greta that you can interact with and use as a role model. Thanks, Greta. I think that was probably eye-opening for a lot of people. Okay, then next we got Linda Robinson, Time After Time. This is one of the live ones. Linda's had a classical singing background, moved into jazz singing with the guidance of Sarah Clay. Time After Time is a romantic jazz standard. The song was written for the chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra, to sing in a musical movie titled It Happened in Brooklyn in 1947. All set, Linda?
Yeah. Time after time, I tell myself that I'm so lucky to be loving you. So lucky to be the one you run to see in the evening when the day is through. I only know what I know. The passing years have shown you kept our love so young, so new. And time after time, you'll hear me say that I'm so lucky to be loving you. I only know what I know. The passing years have shown you kept our love so warm, so new. And time after time, you'll hear me say that I'm so lucky to be loving you. And that's supposed to be dedicated to my husband. Okay, that's all.
But we all knew that, Linda, right? Right. Okay, so that was Linda Robinson, accompanied by her grandson, Arlo Green. We always enjoy these multi-generational efforts. That's kind of the search for the Holy Grail here, I think. Nicely done, nice song, nice sentiment. And I think, you know, everybody should count their blessings if they're fortunate to have a relationship like Linda's mentioned and was described in the song. So we'll see Linda again later in the show. Thank you very much. Okay, next up is Tom T-Bone Reardon doing guitar solo off of Freebird, a song you might be familiar with. Leonard Skinner did an iconic rock song about a bird that can fly wherever he wants to go. Tom is doing the guitar solo from it. So Guitar World's 100 Greatest Guitar Solos puts it at number 3 out of the 100 it rates. And Tom always enjoyed playing music. It's like therapy for him. As he plays, he likes to watch the effect it has on people when they start moving and bopping. Okay, this is one of the recorded ones. Let's see it.
My name is Tom Reardon, T-Bone for short, and I'm going to play something that I hope comes out right.
I can see you were enjoying that. So was I. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Nicely done. I can almost see people moving and bopping. That was great. The vocal of Freebird. I mean, the guitar solo of Freebird. Okay, thank you. Okay, and with the show here, we got next up is Lola Reed, Peel Me a Grape. And this is one of the live ones again. Lola's been singing her whole life, different genres, but jazz songs for the last 10 years. She's been in a Friday evening solo singing group on Zoom during this pandemic and probably has done 50 sessions. She's doing Peel Me a Grape, which is a song that was popularized by Diana Krall. Lola likes it particularly because it's fun and sassy, and I think you'll find that to be true. Okay, Lola.
Okay, I'm going to be using a backing tape from an online karaoke. Peel me grape, Crush me some ice, skin me a peach, save the flowers for my pillow. Talk to me nice, come on and talk to me nice. You've got to wine me and dine me. Don't try to fool me, bejewel me. Either amuse me or lose me. I'm getting hungry. Peel me a grape. Pop me a cork. French me a fry. Crack me a nut. Bring a bowl full of bonbons. Chill me some wine. Keep standing by. Just entertain me. Champagne me. Show me you love me. Kid glove me. Best way to cheer me. Yeah. Cashmere me. I'm getting hungry. Peel me a grape. Here's how to be an agreeable chap. Love me and leave me in luxury's lap. Hop when I holler, skip when I snap. When I say do it, jump to it. Send up for scotch, pour me a crab. Cut me a rose, make my tea with the petals. Just hang around, pick up the tab. Never outthink me, just meet me. Polar bear rub me and don't bug me. New Thunderbird me, you heard me. I'm getting hungry. Peel me a grape. Here's how to be an agreeable chap. Love me and leave me in luxury's lap. Hop when I holler, skip when I snap. When I say do it, jump to it. Send up for scotch, boil me a crab. Cut me a rose, make my tea with the petals. Just hang around and pick up the tab. Never outthink me, just make me. Polar bear of me, don't bug me. New Thunderbird me, you hurt me. I'm getting hungry. Peel me. Peel me. Peel me. Great.
Yep. Great, Lola. I'm just going to take a moment here to cool down. And then,
The funny thing about this song is that it was written by a man, and only a woman could sing it and make sense of it.
right. I was going to say all the women in the audience enjoyed it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not a person to offer relationship advice, but all the fellas out there, it'd serve you well to pay attention to the lyrics of this, I think. So thanks very much, Lola. Very nice. Okay, moving on here. Next is Stan Pollack. Stan does poems or songs related to the environment and social justice. tries to raise people's awareness on these issues. It's a bit of a difficult lift, but he gives it a good effort. All set, Stan. This is one of our live ones. All set, Stan? So.
Hastily wasting its natural resources, the gigantic glutton finally did itself in. Its fantasy fossil fuel dreams, it seems, burst at their seams when the petrol ran dry. But why, it cried, must I slow down now? I just don't know how now to conserve energy. My lifestyle was based on a give me it bigger and quicker and better. More today than before was what I was here for. No matter the cost, I would never be lost until the petrol ran dry. But it ran dry, you see, so have pity on me. I'm a poor gigantic glutton from gluttony. This next poem I wrote in the bird blind at Fitzgerald Lake. Joanna and I were there in the early morning, hoping to see a moose. Where's the moose? Hello, my name is Stanley Bruce, and I'd really like to see a moose. Between the maples, oaks, and spruce, there's gotta be just one big moose. Ain't no reason or excuse why I can't find a single moose. When leaves are falling or hanging loose, you think it easy to spot a moose. Through shades of magenta and chartreuse, my eyes should gaze upon a moose. But this searching war has no truce for me to capture a surrendering moose. Might be some trick or real weird ruse to keep me distant from my moose. My chances should rise, not reduce, to catch quick glimpses of a moose. I saw a beaver, bear, and goose, so why not see one stately moose? Am I too dumb or real obtuse to never glance upon a moose? I just can't stand any more abuse. Please let me spy one friggin' moose. Aches and pains and feeling bad. I miss the youth that I once had, but I'm not really feeling bad while living every day. Hopes and schemes and dampened dreams flow in and out of life, it seems. I've had my share of sunshine beams to light my every way. I've seen my life from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow I've had lots of blessings, big and small. I don't mind being old at all. Health and wealth and gaining fame don't come to all of us the same. And who's to say who is to blame when things go wrong in life? I'll give myself another break. I'm not dead yet, for heaven's sake. And every morning when I awake, I'll kiss my lovely wife. I've seen my life from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow I've had lots of blessings, big and small. I don't like being old at all. And now a quick message from our sponsor. Give me a roll of duct tape and a Swiss Army knife, some chewing gum and a pair of pliers. I'll fix anything in this whole wide world and anything your heart desires. Now, if your thingamabob is broken, if your what you call it's loose, if your doohickey up and quit, just dial my number and call out my name, and I'll be there in just a little bit. 'Cause I'm your fix-it man, Stan the fix-it man. Fix anything that I can. I'm your fix-it man, Stan the fix-it man. But you can just call me Stan, and you can just call me Stan. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Stan. I'm always amazed at the range of issues you cover, Stan, and impressed, actually. And raising people's awareness in a variety of ways is difficult, but we got the man for the job, Stan the Fix-It Man. Thank you. Okay, moving on here, we got David Arbeitman, Stand By Me, which is going to be one of the live questions here. David used to play guitar, had more time during the pandemic, so he picked up the guitar again and bought a new guitar, and the rest is history here. He chose Stand By Me, a rock and roll standard, which was co-authored and sung by Ben E. King in 1961. Interestingly enough, it was a psalm-inspired ballad, and maybe that explains some of the tone of it. All set, David?
I am.
Good.
Okay,
Take it away.
so my apologies to Ben King, Jerry Lieber, and Mike Stoller. And I dedicate the song to my wife and soulmate, Rachel Naismith. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we see, no, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Okay, great. Very nice, David. David's one of our returning stars, and that's a real nice sentiment for in a difficult year. Thanks. We'll be seeing you again, I hope. Okay, moving on. Next is Ed Supernut, Faster Gun. This is one of the recorded ones. Ed likes songs that tell a story, ballads that make people laugh, cry, or break your heart. And Faster Gun was a song popularized by the Aztec Two-Step, a folk singing group who were kind of late in the folk era there, late 60s, early 70s, so they never made it big, but they had interesting songs. And this is a song that really kind of focuses again on the importance of relationships in people's lives. So let's see it.
Hi, my name is Ed Supernut, and I'm going to play a nice, soft love song ballad for you. Well, my baby, she's so good looking, though she very rarely smiles. She follows a tradition somewhere near Miss Mona Lisa's style. And in our quiet, I'll tell her soft and true. There will always be faster gun, but there'll never be another one like you. Now sometimes my baby's vicious, irrationally mean, and sometimes she's delicious, and sometimes she's just a little bit in between. And in our quiet, I'll tell her soft and true. Yes, I do. There'll always be a faster gun, but there'll never be another one like you. Now you ask me if she loves me. Well, you know I never lie. She'll tease me and she'll scold me. Then she holds me in her little loving arms and sighs. You're all I've got, I guess you'll have to do. There'll always be a faster gun, but there'll never be another one like you. There'll always be a faster gun, you know there'll always be a faster gun, always be a faster gun, but there'll never be another one like you.
Thanks, Ed. Isn't it interesting how all these relationship songs seem to really just reach out and grab you? I'm a little partial to folk ballads, and Ed told me that he knows actually hundreds of songs. Maybe we can put Ed on speed dial, for future shows here. Don't change your phone number yet, Ed. Relax. Okay, moving on then. The next one is Catherine Baker, returning star here with Celtic fiddle tunes. And this is another recorded one. Catherine started playing at 7 years old, had classical training, played as a classical violinist in orchestras and string quartets. In recent years, though, she switched focus and played Celtic fiddle tunes, jigs and reels, for the fun of it, which sounds like a great idea. So let's see it.
I'm going to play two Irish fiddle jigs. One is called the Blarney Pilgrim and the other is called the Humours of Ballydenab. And then I'm going to play a reel called the Bus Stop Reel. And those three are dance tunes, so be sure you're dancing as you listen. And then I'm going to play a tune that was actually composed not long ago for the Civil War series that Ken Burns did. And that's called the Ashokan Farewell. Shokin Farewell.
Very nice, Catherine, very nice. As you know, I'm a dual citizen of Ireland, and that's dear to my heart. And I was dancing in my seat, which is probably where I do my best dancing. And in the immortal words of Jackie Gleason, how sweet it is. Thank you. We'll be seeing you again later in the show with a duet. Okay, so that concludes Act One. We'll have a brief intermission here where I want to talk about three things. This might be a good time to fill your glass if you're so inclined. First thing I just want to mention was, being a member in Northampton Neighbors. I assume most people probably watching the show are, but perhaps not. Hopefully we got a broader audience. So this is an organization that helps people age in place. Just if you don't know, there's no cost. The founders decided they didn't want any fees involved to discourage anybody. If you're 55 years of age or older, you can get services, and member volunteers can be of any age. And paraphrasing Ronald Reagan from his debate with Walter Mondale, rest assured, we won't hold your youth against you if you join the organization. So during the pandemic, unfortunately, Northampton Neighbors had to suspend all its in-person service programs and events, but the organization continued to try to address community needs. I think we were a leader in vaccine information for people, to help participate in this Hunger Games that they set up with vaccinations. Did a Hello Neighbors program, with volunteers calling and checking on people and seeing how they were doing, and trying to reduce some of the loneliness and social isolation. The speaker series, which was live, went on Zoom, for topics that appealed to the community and the members. And like the events committee is doing the talent shows. So speaking of that, if you're interested in being a member, there's plenty of room on the events committee. We're spread a little thin, so if that sounds like fun to you, then think about it. And I happen to be chairman of the events committee and master of ceremonies of the talent show. And if those are something that you aspire to, trust me, that's within your reach. And that would free me up to work on my talents so I could appear in the talent sections. Things like developing my talents with the kazoo, working on my paper airplane skills, maybe even try a real stretch reach, something like walking backwards while chewing gum, but that's all in the future. So anyway, think about it and think about being a volunteer and joining Northampton Neighbors. Second thing I want to mention is just donations. As we said, there's no membership fees, and it's a lean organization that tries to rely on volunteers and donations. And this is certainly a difficult time for everybody, and needs are numerous and resources are limited. If you've made donations to basic needs like food, clothing, and shelter, that's great. If you're looking for additional thoughts, then consider Northampton Neighbors, which tries to fill in other community needs. Just keep it in the back of your mind, put it on your list and give it a thought. No donation is too small. And the third thing I want to mention is Northampton Open Media. I don't know if people are familiar with it, but we were finding out that there's people in the community that wanted to see this talent show, for instance, and they couldn't because they don't have computers. So we reached out to Northampton Open Media to see if they were interested in like carrying the talent show and the speaker series perhaps. And it turns out they are. So, you know, we can work out this collaboration in between the two of us. We've got materials and they got the local media access. So the recorded version of this show will be scheduled about a week from now on Channel 12 with local public media. If you're not familiar with them, they sent us a clip. Let's see that.
This production is co-produced by Northampton Open Media, your local public media. We provide resources to all voices in the community to create their own content. Membership is free, classes are free, equipment is free, but our existence is under threat. If you believe in what we do and want to keep us sustainable, do so on Patreon for as little as a few dollars a month. Look for Northampton Open Media on Patreon or go to our website at northamptonopenmedia.org.
Okay, so the show, they did the previous show, the one we did last fall, they showed, I think, last week, like over 3 days. And then they're planning on showing this one sometime in about a week on Channel 12. So look for it on their scheduling information. And that'll be great if we can work out this collaborative kind of effort. And this increases our visibility. You know, we've got ambitions today, Northampton, who knows about tomorrow. Okay, so that's intermission. I hope you had a chance to fill your glass. We'll go on to Act 2 here. First person up is Maureen Freitz again, and she's going to do How Far Will COVID Go? And this is a recorded number. I know from talking with Maureen that she's felt the weight of the COVID isolation as much as anybody. And here's her attempt at a lighthearted, original song, attempting to put a smile on your face about COVID, if that's possible. Let's see it.
This song is a song by Lost Lonely Boys. It's called Heaven, but I'm calling it How Far Will COVID Go? Enjoy. Get off the couch. It's a good song to dance to. Save me from this prison. Lord, help me get away. 'Cause only you can save me now from this misery. And I'm getting weary. How far will COVID go? And I know that I need to change my ways of living. Yeah, wear a mask. How far will COVID go? Lord, can you tell me? Rock it out. I've been locked up way too long, my crazy apartment. How far will this COVID go? And I just keep on praying, Lord, and just keep on living. How far will this COVID go? Lord, can you tell me? How far will this COVID go? 'Cause I just need to know how far will COVID go? Lord, can you tell me? Here we go. Ooh, I just wanna go outside. I know there's a better place than this place I'm living. How long will COVID go? 'Cause I just got to have some faith and just keep on giving. How far will this COVID go? Lord, can you tell me? How far will this COVID go? 'Cause I just too, but I'm like done with this. How long will this COVID go? Now can you tell me? See ya. Enjoy. Wear your mask. Be safe. Till next time. Gotta go. Going home. That's all I got.
Okay, Maureen. Thanks a lot. Very nice. Very creative as well. I appreciate that. And I hope for a moment then we brought a little humor, to the situation that we've been facing here for a year. It's worth a try anyway. Thanks. Okay, up next is Maya Guerra Green playing the cello and Calvin Quinn playing the viola, accompanied by Mom Emily. I recently saw Yo-Yo Ma on TV, and he said he encouraged everybody to express themselves by playing some sort of music. And this family's putting that into practice. Here's a real musical family. There's 4 kids, and they all play an instrument. First, you're going to see Maya Guerra Green. She's 8 years old and has been playing the cello since she was 3. Practices every day and uses the Suzuki method. And she's following in the footsteps of a musical family. She's got an aunt who plays the cello. And then Calvin Quinn is 10, and he's been playing the viola for 3 years, following in the footsteps of a grandfather and his grandfather's brother who plays professionally. So Calvin will be accompanied by his mom, Emily. Let's see it. Okay, thank you. Very nice. Keep up the good work. We hope to check in again with you in the future, as you continue to develop. I think people are always curious how the next generation is developing and what they're doing. And I think we're encouraged by, what you can see here tonight. Okay, thanks. Let's see, after that, we got back to Lola Reed, this time with her playing partner on the recorder. This is a pre-recorded set. So Lola and Stan have been playing a recorder here for a while. They joined a 5-college early music program taught by Emily Samuels, which stopped, of course, during the pandemic. And they took a couple of online lessons. And they've been playing, everybody's been affected by this pandemic in so many ways, but they've been playing duets outside during the winter here, as long as it was 45 degrees. That's determination for you. I wasn't even going out unless it was 45 degrees. They helped to start and hope to restart a monthly Northampton recorder play-in session when it's possible again. Anyone interested in joining is welcome and encouraged to get in touch with them. For their first amateur performance tonight, they've chosen 2 pieces of early music, Chaconne for Flutes and Medieval Anonymous. Let's see it.
Hi. The first piece we're going to play is Chaconne for Flutes by Henry Purcell.
For our second act, we're going to play a piece found by someone we know in a Czech music store. We don't know the name, so we call it Medieval Anonymous.
Okay, very nice. Looks like you enjoyed that. You should enjoy that if you've been practicing outside, as long as it was 45 degrees. Very nice. Thanks for adding to the diversity of our musical experience tonight. I think we're touched most bases. And actually that sounds, if you watched like medieval knights and castles kind of theme movies, that sounds like familiar kind of themes, actually, that medieval anonymous. Well, thank you for that. And thanks for making the effort of doing it as a duet. Okay, on we go with Stephen John Oksanen doing That Was the Last Thing on My Mind, which is going to be a recorded folk song. So Ox, as he likes to be called, has had a long and varied history of playing. He's helped manage or play in a variety of groups over the years. Currently, he's been a street musician for a number of years in downtown Northampton. And he chose one of singer-songwriter Tom Paxton's modern standards, That Was the Last Thing on My Mind. A bit of a wistful song about losing a relationship here. So let's see it.
Hi, I'm Steve Oxenden. This song's by Tom Paxton. I've been playing it for 55 years. It's a lesson too late for the learning, made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye, my soul is turning in your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. That was the last thing on my mind. Underneath my feet, the subway's rumbling. Underground, underground. And deep down inside, my soul is tumbling. Round and round, round and round. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. That was the last thing on my mind. And you've got reasons aplenty for going. Of this I know, of this I know. For the weeds have been steadily growing. Please don't go, please don't go. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. That was the last thing on my mind. And as I lie in my bed in the morning, without you, without you, each song in my breast dies a borning. Without you, without you. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. That was the last thing on my mind.
Thanks, X. A wistful song about a relationship here. Maybe a cautionary tale to the rest of us to pay more attention to our relationships. I haven't met you, but I'll be looking for you playing downtown one of these days. I'll specifically go down looking for you. I hope other people watching the show might stop by and mention that they saw you in the show and how much they enjoyed it. That's a nice tune by Tom Paxton and reminds me to look at Tom Paxton again. I haven't listened to him in years. Thank you for that. Okay, then next we have, switching gears here to an activity. We got Norma Johnson, Arts and Crafts, a recorded activity here. Calling all arts and crafts fans, which I suspect is a significant group out there. Norma's been interested in a wide variety of crafts that she's going to, talk a little about here. She got her start when she was quite young, when Norma's aunt taught her how to use her Singer sewing machine, and that might sound familiar to a lot of you. She began making doll clothes and since has been a dabbler in many crafts. And she'll be showing you several examples of what she's been doing, as well as making comments about them as she goes. So this is recorded. Let's see it.
Thank you, Mike. I'm going to begin by showing you some things I did when I was in my screen printing phase. Besides the usual t-shirts, shopping bags and pillows are good targets for screen printing. I made shopping bags of lightweight cotton canvas and embellished them with images I found on the internet. The funky design on the white pillow is something my daughter came up with in her high school art class. Yarn bombing began as a guerrilla art form, which involves sneaking out after dark and covering various public objects, such as mailboxes, trees, or parts of statues with knitted or crocheted swatches. I brought the idea inside to do these two projects. This small bit of needlepoint is based on a Kandinsky painting, Squares with Concentric Circles. For the other piece, I took a photo of the building I live in and translated it into architectural embroidery. You might recognize it when you walk down Northampton's main street. These two mosaic tabletops are also based on Kandinsky's color study. I had metal table bases made for me by a local steel fabricating company. While I was snooping around a construction site, I found a pile of wooden cubes that were destined for the dump. They inspired me to make a wooden puzzle in a full iteration of Kandinsky's work and another of Matisse's Blue Nude. The fun begins when you take the puzzles apart and create your own designs. I'm not a mathematician, so I can only give you my simple explanation of a hyperbolic pseudosphere. Let me say it this way. It involves putting a large object into a too small space. You can actually find examples of this geometric form in nature, such as corals, and at your local market, for example, kale. For this collection of painted boxes, I pored over many art books to find these portraits, which I then reproduced in small versions on the tops of paper mache boxes, hence women on tops. I stenciled Icarus onto a hinged wooden box. Most recently, I've been trying my hands at model making. I assembled the shrine from a kit of many, many very, very small parts. Add to that challenge, the instructions were written only in Japanese. I drafted and built the iconic glass house model from scratch. I'm gearing up now to make a larger version with some interior details. Thank you. Thanks to all of you for your attention. And I do want to end by saying how much I truly appreciate Northampton neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you, Norma. Very interesting. If people were saying they had time on their hands during this pandemic, I think you gave them a plethora of ideas to deal with here. Wide-ranging and very diverse. Appreciate that. Appreciate your efforts. and maybe it's they can use you as a resource going forward. I don't want to rope you into something you're not ready for, but sounds like there's real potential there. Okay, so thanks, Norma. And then moving on, we got Catherine Baker again. You recognize Catherine from the Celtic music. This time she's appearing with Linda Greenenbaum. Linda's a professional violinist and violist, and also a teacher of violin. Catherine and Linda met in college, became friends, and used to enjoy playing numbers together. But of course, the pandemic got in the way of that. Recently, they became fully vaccinated, so they're back in business again. And it's our good fortune. They're going to do a violin and viola duet by Mozart. Let's see it. Okay, nicely done. Thank you both. Isn't it amazing the diversity of the talents in this community when you think about what people are doing out there? And again, thanks for checking off our cultural box for the night and showing us the art of the possible in terms of what's out there. Very nice, and thanks for the effort of a duet in particular. Okay then, last but not least, we got Linda Robinson again, accompanied by her grandson, Arlo Green, doing What a Wonderful World, and this is going to be live. So What a Wonderful World is a jazz song. Interestingly enough, George Weiss wrote the song for Louis Armstrong because he was inspired by Armstrong's ability to bring people of different races together. Sounds like a timely thing for today. The song is an optimistic, hopeful one. It's basically about hope and faith in the world and its people. And again, it's a timely thing. Linda's going to do a kind of a special version here. She'll do 2 verses of the song in the normal way. Her grandson, Arlo Green, will do 1 verse on a guitar solo. And then Linda will come back and do the 3rd verse with changing some of the words to make this her own special version. And I think people will find this to be uplifting. All set, Linda?
I'd just like to say that Arlo and I worked on some of these words together, and the intention is to somehow address what's been going on in the world because it's so amazingly unusual. Let's just put it that way, okay? All right. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, a bright, bright, precious day, the dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The smiles in the eyes of people passing by, wearing their masks to protect you and I. The doctors and nurses doing all that they can. Exhausted and scared, they still lend a hand. I see mothers staying home to work with their kids, dads unemployed, musicians without gigs, and I think to myself, what a challenging world. Yet I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Thanks, Linda and Arlo. Thank you. Our multi-generational dynamic duo. Very uplifting, particularly your own version and the third verse there. And it also serves as a good reminder, I think, to everyone that despite all this chaos in the world, you know, we need to be looking at the bright side and looking for the positive. And I think that was your message, and I think it was received by everybody. Thank you for that. Okay, then that concludes the X. Just in closing here, let me thank everybody that was involved, the talents in particular who spent their time and energy getting ready for this show, and the Northampton Neighbors Events Committee that put it on. I guess we'll keep doing this as long as people find this to be useful. I said at the beginning that your neighbors set out to try to entertain you and spread a little joy. I hope they succeeded in that. They certainly tried. I also hope that their stories are now part of your stories. So stay safe, God bless, and thanks for all the people who tuned in and are joining us tonight. And we can give a hearty virtual round of applause to our performers as we roll the credits here.
I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself,